Okay, hey, my name is Rachel Hamilton, and today I'm going to be talking about juicing. I'm on the 21st day of a long juice fast. I'm not exactly sure how long it's going to last yet. I'm trying to go the distance. I've never gone the distance, so I don't know if that's 30, 60, or 90 yet, but anyway, I'm well on my way. Day 21, I'm feeling great, and I'm here to talk to my friend and all of y'all about what I'm doing and how to juice and all that kind of good stuff. So, you want to get started?
Okay.
Okay, you can sit there, that's fine.
Oh, wonderful.
And then I do want to just talk about just how this all started for me. And I was sitting in church, let's see, about 3 weeks ago. So, and our pastor said we were going to do 21 days of prayer and fasting. And I thought, oh, 21 days of water fasting. I've done a week and it was really, really hard. And I was like, and Scott doesn't even really like me water fasting because it takes all my energy. But I happened to be on juice and another shake type thing for my gut issues and all my sicknesses or illnesses I deal with. But I had run out of the stuff I was taking, and all I had was juices. And then the pastor announced, hey, we're doing 21 days of prayer and fasting. And it just came to me, and I think it was the Holy Spirit. He was just like, juice. You can juice for 21 days. And I thought, juice? Okay, yeah, I could do that, but that seems like a lot. But he said, guess what? I've already got you on it because you don't have anything else today to drink but juice that won't break you out in hives, and it's easy on your gut. So guess what? You've already started. You know, I've like opened up the door and opened up the path for you. So, you know, I really felt like he graced me this time to do this because, you know, years ago I considered doing something like a 90-day juice fast, but it was like, it just felt like out of my reach and like just way beyond my ability. But like, honestly, this time I feel like it's not even been that hard. The first day was the hardest, and it was just kind of getting over the whole idea that I'm doing it. And then the next few days were kind of challenging, but once I hit day 7, I got on a high, and it has just been, I want to say, easy. Easy. So I think the first week, and once Scott, my husband's also jumped on board. When I was on day 10, he started seeing all the benefits, so he jumped on. So he's on day 12. I'm on day 21. And it's just been exciting. I mean, there's every day there's like, well, this is better, and this is better, and this is better. And, you know, for example, he tore his Achilles, and his inflammation is gone now. Now he's able to work out in the garage all day where he couldn't before. And he can get his boot off without a struggle because the swelling's gone down. I've lost about 10 pounds in 21 days. He's lost about 10 pounds in 11 days. So weight's coming off. It's like a steady decline. And I'm passing a lot of weird stuff. I don't want to gross anybody out, but that's another thing that's just like, oh my gosh, what is in me? And thank God it's coming out because it's not a good thing. So anyway, just lots of benefits. But the most benefits I'm expecting to see like around day 6, like every day it's better and better, but like 60 day, 90 day, like, you know, when you go the distance. And here's the deal. What I've learned, and I could be wrong, but this is what my understanding is, that when you start doing this, you'll start pooping out like all the stuff that's just in your intestines. And then it'll start pulling from what's been hanging on the side of your intestine, which is mucoid plaque. So then you'll start getting all this black tire feeling rubbery stuff come out. And then it creates like a vacuum in your intestines, and you start pulling from all the toxins in your cells and intracellular fluids. And so if you go the distance and you do it long enough, you can have like amazing results. People's eye color turns back to what it was as a child. People can get rid of their glasses. People lose the weight. People lose their asthma, their diabetes, their, you know, cancer, their tumors. Like the results from actually just juicing for long enough have been like a miraculous sounding. So that's what I want. That's what I'm in it for. Like I want to go the distance this time and just get rid of the autoimmune disease diagnosis, and I want to get rid of any parasites that may live in me, and I want to get rid of any acne, and I want to get, you know, like, yeah, I want to get my weight down to where I want it. I want to I don't want any joint pain. I don't, you know, like, I'm hoping my back will straighten up. I have scoliosis, so there's so many things that I'm like hoping for, and I'm seeing them. I'm 3 weeks in, and I'm seeing really good results. So enough just to keep going and stuff. So anyway, that's kind of a short clip about what I want to do. So let me finish. So basically, what I'm saying is, you know, you're done with your juice fast, or I like to call it a juice feast, because we're really feasting on like God's goodness, His produce. You know, it's like mega dosing nutrition. I want to do it long enough to where you stop crapping, like you stop pooping. Eventually you will stop. I mean, there's a guy I followed on YouTube that's kind of a professional juice faster, and it took him 120 days. And this is a 27-year-old or something like that. I mean, so you don't know how long it's going to take. I'm on day 21 and still going to the bathroom. Still going number 2. Scott still is too. And so you just go, that's when you know, like, okay, my body has cleaned every bit of crap out that is in there. That's when you know you're done. So I don't know if that's going to be day 60 for me or 90 or 120, but I want to go the distance. So anyway, so this is the standard juice recipe. So I'm just going to jump right into it. This is for one person for one day. Okay, now normally I double this because my husband is doing it with me. But today I'm just going to do one person one day. And it's about, and everybody asks this, but it's about $30 a day. Average. It depends on what produce you buy and if you go organic or not. Now I go organic because I really have followed and studied Dr. Gerson's work, and he says, you know, how can you cure a sick person with sick food? You know, and if you've got pesticides and that kind of junk on your food, it's just gonna, you know, hurt more, and you don't want to do that. We're trying to lift the toxic burden, lift the toxic load. So anyway, carrots is a base. I've heard of people getting rid of cancer just on juicing carrots. I mean, it's been phenomenal. Carrots also are high in vitamin A and a lot of great stuff. I'm not, you know, the expert on all the vegetables. I just know God made them and they're great for you. But I've heard of people getting rid of their glasses just going on carrot juice. You know, just steady doses of carrot juice, you know, and I'm hoping Scott is able to get rid of his contacts and his glasses. So carrot juice, I do that for, so I do 5 pounds, and then I do a pound of spinach. And just know the leafy greens, they don't produce a whole lot of juice, you know, but I still add them in. And then grapes, I love grapes, they're super cleansing. There's a lady that wrote a book called The Grape Fast, and she has dying of stomach cancer, and this was like in the 20s or something. But she went on, the only thing that cured her is she went on just grapes, cured her cancer. So she wrote a book called The Grape Cure. It's called The Grape Cure. So I read that, and you know, there was a while I just ate grapes because I have a vineyard with muscadines, and so I'd go down to my vineyard and just gorge on grapes. Love it. Anyway, but that ultimately was not the best solution. Right now, I think I'm doing the best thing I've ever done, and I've tried all different kind of things, you know. I won't go into all the things I've tried, but this is my favorite so far, and I'm getting really fast good results. And you kind of get on a high because you've got so much like nutrition and energy coming into you. I mean, that's why I think of it more of a feast than a fast. Then I do green apples, and it's important that you do green and not red because of the malic acid in here. And this again comes from Gerson, who is like the father of the juicing and coffee enemas and curing tuberculosis and cancer, and their Gerson therapies and clinics all around. There's like a lot of them. There's several of them in Mexico, Tijuana area. There's others, but he's pretty famous for healing people naturally with juices and coffee enemas in a supplemental regimen. Anyway, so he's big on green apples because of the malic acid. I think that's what it's called. But anyway, so we go green. And plus, they're the lowest in sugar. Not that I'm really caring about the sugar, but just saying. And then a lemon, and it's mainly for, I'm really sensitive to citrus. So if I wasn't, I would have orange juice as part of this regimen for sure. Just like, I love it. But it doesn't suit me well. So the lemon is mainly just to keep it, like, preserve all this well. Because, you know, it doesn't need to keep long, but it needs to keep at least 24 hours, and the lemon just helps that. And then cucumber, just full of good vitamins and minerals, easy thing to juice. You get a lot of yield out of cucumbers. And then parsley, I usually either do parsley or cilantro, but mainly parsley because another guy I follow on YouTube, Dan McDonald, he's big into parsley. And I also want to say some of this stuff, a lot of this I learned from, you know, the Gerson, Max Gerson, Dr. Max Gerson, and then John Rose is another YouTuber, Fully Raw Christina. Some of these are my favorites that I like. Nathan Von Dutch is a recent one. So some of these I've learned a lot from. So I did want to mention them in case someone wants to look them up. So it's incredible, some of these stories and the results people get. Like it's so inspiring. So I'm like, I feel like God has put on my heart, you know, my body is God's temple, and I'm trying to do the best with it I can. And I feel like the cleaner my body gets, the cleaner my mind gets and my spirit gets. Because when I used to eat the standard American diet, I hurt all over. I was emotionally high and low and high and low. And I had more depression and anxiety and paranoia and all this. But the cleaner and cleaner my body has gotten, the cleaner my mind has gotten, and like the I would say more elevated my spirit has gotten, the more I feel I can connect with God. And so I guess it's another thing. It's like I don't want to settle for less than God's best for me. Like if I can move my body and my mind and my spirit to a higher level, like I'm going for it. If I can get all the parasites out, or I'm going for it. Like I don't understand people that are just like, well, I feel like crap, but I'm just not going to do anything. Like if there's something else to be done, let's do it. So anyway, and then the other two things that I typically add in are turmeric, and I think everybody's heard about how awesome turmeric is.
Sure.
Anti-inflammatory, and then ginger, which is good on your gut and stuff, but I just love the taste of ginger. And so honestly, I'm not even sure I put enough in here. I may juice more, but I thought about doing this, before you came over, but I didn't. So I'm gonna need to this is the first step that I do, is I peel the ginger.
Oh, okay.
So Dominic, I don't know if this is just gonna be something you take out, or I could just talk. Linda, do you have any questions? Because maybe I could talk to you while I do this.
My question was, what was that? But now you've answered that.
Oh, ginger, yes. And I'm gonna rinse this off.
Ginger, and I've heard good things about both of them.
Yes.
Healthy.
Super great. Now these are roots, and so I don't know that you have to peel them, but I do, just because I think it will I just feel like it's gonna get juiced easier and better once it's peeled. This is weird looking ginger, I'm not gonna lie. I use Instacart and delivery systems now, this after 2020, love it. So I usually place an order every day, and so I don't pick out my own produce.
Oh,
I place
okay.
the order, and then they give me what they give me. So I'm not sure I would have picked this particular batch out, but it got picked for me.
And you're getting this from a health store?
Yeah, I usually use Publix, Sprouts, or Whole Foods.
Okay.
Those are the three that I can get all my organic produce from, for the most part. It's mainly Whole Foods and Sprouts.
Okay.
Because Publix doesn't have, like, for instance, usually are like $1.25 at Sprouts.
Right.
Whereas at Publix, they're like $3.50 for one cucumber.
Okay.
So I mean, for cucumbers alone, I will go to Sprouts or Whole Foods. And people think, oh, Whole Foods is more expensive. No, Publix.
Yeah, regular cucumbers are very expensive right now.
Right, and normally in the summer we have a garden out back, and we grow them, and that is one, I mean, they grow like gangbusters here in South Carolina. So cucumbers are a staple growing thing, because my kids eat them, my husband eats them.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so a lot of times I'll peel my ginger when the kids are watching their homeschool videos, and I'll just watch their homeschool videos with them. Like a lot of times it's history, because I'm relearning all my history that I either never learned or I forgot. So
That's good.
with all that brain fog I had growing up, geez Louise, I'm surprised I even got out of school.
Well, you have me interested.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's so cool. And listen, there's another thing I want to talk to you about while I'm doing this. And I know this sounds weird to people, but these juices break down so much diseased tissue and cysts and tumors and all this stuff, and you start just like, your body starts dumping so much stuff. Most people need to assist the dumping. In other words, take a supplement to move your bowels. That would be a minimum. Next to that, but I take coffee enemas every morning. Dr. Max Gerson was like, for every few juices, you need to do an enema. Which
I'd rather drink it.
I know everybody wants to drink the coffee, but if you buy enema coffee and do it right, I'm telling you, enemas are a beautiful thing. They make you feel so good. They first were giving them to soldiers like in World War I because they ran out of pain meds. So that, I don't know who came. They started doing this, and it's a big pain reliever. It's the reason you do coffee is because when you're laying on your right side, it like gets sucked up through the portal vein straight to your liver, and the coffee actually makes your liver dilate, and you just dump lots of bile. And it also makes your body, gives your liver a chemical so that it can produce glutathione at like 700 times what it normally does. So and glutathione is one of the major like antioxidants, like body cleaners. And so it's a powerful detoxifier. And And when you're doing this amount of juices, it is a really good idea to just keep your bowels moving and then also assist it with coffee enemas. Like Scott's doing 1 a week, I do 1 a day, and sometimes I do 2 a day if the Holy Spirit tells me to do 2 a day. Sometimes he's done that. Jackson begs for them. Now, that's my 12-year-old son. He loves them so much because they make you feel so good. They make you feel so good. So it's just like, why not, you know? Now you can get people, they feel so good, people get addicted to them though, and you know, you can overdo them. But, you know, the another person I follow runs the Northern Baja Gerson Center down in Rosarita, Mexico, and he said, I want to think of his name because he's been very helpful in a lot of my learning. But he says, don't you dare do all those juices without the coffee enemas, and don't do coffee enemas without the juices. They go hand in hand. So, I mean, but John Rose, he is, I would say, the guru in juicing, and he says you don't have to do the coffee enemas, but they can be helpful. So you've got different professionals, I say, saying different things. I'm just saying, they're not going to hurt, and they're surely going to help. And so I've, you know, taught several people how to do them, and they're just, I don't know, I love doing them. They make me feel so good. I just got finished doing one an hour ago. Like I said, I do it every morning. That is my enemas and my Bible every morning, you know. And this is the weirdest, I'm just throwing this away. That looks super weird. So then I just peel this stuff, okay? Clear the trash, dump all the peelings, and then I take these and just rinse them off because, you know, they kind of just, rinse. And so right now, my first step is just getting the produce ready. Normally it's like a 2-hour ordeal, but here's the reason it's 2 hours. Because of this juicer. This is a Norwalk juicer right here, and there's a lot, from my understanding, this is the top of the line juicer. And I personally wouldn't have bought it for myself, although I would have wanted to, but this is $2,500, and this is what the cancer clinics have to do their juices. The Gerson Cancer Clinics, like, this is what he recommended, and it's Norwalk after Norman Walker, who wrote, like, I think one of the first juicing books. Anyway, I used to have a Breville and an Omega, and those are super popular. They're like $200-300, and Breville is the one that Joe Cross used on Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. And that's probably the most popular, and it's quick. You could juice all this stuff in 30 minutes. Okay, but the reason this is going to take so long is because we're actually using the Norwalk. I had a friend that just gave it to me last summer.
Nice.
Her name is Aspen, and she's just like, yeah, I bought this, but I think it's too time consuming or something. She just wasn't going to juice. She literally just gave me a Norwalk. Like, and to me, I thought that was like a big sign from God. Like, hint, hint. Like, I'm gifting you with a Norwalk. This is for, you know, so it kind of concerned me a little bit. Like, hey, God, I know I've got some health issues, but really, do I need a Norwalk? But I really appreciate it, but it is more time consuming, but I feel like I'm producing the best quality juice. I'm using organic produce, and I'm using the best juicer, and it's a press, so you're going to see it presses them together versus like spinning them and spitting it out. You see what I'm saying? So there's an easier way to go about it, and a less time consuming way. But that is my juicer, and I'm thankful for it, and I've already given away my Breville and Omega. My sister got my Omega, a friend from church. She's also doing this with me. She's got like 100 pounds to lose or so, I think she said. And she's doing, she's got my Breville. Okay, so the next thing I do is I dump all my vegetables in. So when I'm doing it for me and Scott every day, I'm in here 4 hours. But that's from top to bottom. That's prepping the produce, cutting the produce, grinding the produce, all that stuff. So anyway, so I just dump my carrots down there. And then I have a Kangen filter here, and so what I do is I plug up this side, so I just conserve water, and I put my grapes down in here. Okay, and honestly, yeah, that's all the grapes I'm going to use. That's
How many pounds? 2 pounds?
I normally use 5 pounds for both me and Scott.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to use those 2 bags. So it's probably about 3 pounds or so. And then, so I just load everything up that I'm going to wash. Now you can choose, some people say, you don't have to wash, the natural bacteria on there is great, leave it on there. Maybe, maybe not. But like for me, when you feel this cucumber, it feels waxy. Like, this is not the way our cucumbers feel out in our garden. So I know somebody put something on this. Like, I think they put actually wax is what they do. So if it feels waxy, I literally peel them. The people who do the Norwalk juicer, like, promote it, they say you should peel the carrots, but I just rinse them. I'm not gonna stand there and peel the carrots, 5 pounds of carrots every day. I mean, it's like, come on. I'll take that bacteria. And I'll get off the first layer and the rest can stay. I use about 9 Granny Smith organic apples per juice. Or honestly, what I do is I normally buy like a 3-pound bag. But they didn't send, I ordered that, but they didn't send it. So I do not rinse the parsley, praying for the best there. So here's the parsley. So I just kind of lay out my produce, and I love it. Sometimes I take pictures of it because I think it's so pretty. You know, all this beautiful produce, like this is like, okay, here's another thing I want to say. I want people to hear this loud and clear. The original design was Genesis 1:29, and God said, every seed-bearing plant, that should be food for you. The original design was that we were supposed to eat produce from the land. That's raw fruits and vegetables. That's the way I see it. That's the way I read it. And so I'm not saying that it's sin to do anything different. I'm just saying that's the highest level. And what we're doing is we're concentrating the highest level foods to where we can get like 20 pounds of this stuff in a liquid form a day. We are like overdosing on God's goodness. And I love it. Like my husband's a woodworker. He's out there. I think he just loves being around the wood. I love being around the produce. You know what I mean? I would love like to be able to just walk through like luscious, fruitful gardens every day or something. I don't know. I think that'd be great. But anyway, so let's see here. I'm going to spray these grapes. Even though they're organic, I find them very dirty. Grapes, very dirty. And so I have gotten to where I spray grapes with like produce wash. And I soak them because otherwise, I mean, if you've ever taken just a grape and like wiped it on a white Kleenex, they're dirty, even organic ones. So, you know, I don't know if you know about the Dirty Dozen list, but
No.
yeah, they come out with a list every year about the produce that's the most dirty. And usually the ones that are on there are the ones that don't have like a peel. Like oranges, they're not on the Dirty Dozen, I don't think, because they have a peel. But like strawberries and spinach and celery, you know, you don't peel those to eat them. You see them straight. They're usually very high. And I think my guess would be grapes would got to be up there too. But anyway, thankfully my dad takes care of our vineyard and he doesn't spray it. So when I get to go back to my home and, or, you know, where I grew up and go to the vineyard, I get to just eat all that. Oh, I love it. Okay, so this is a Kangen filter. So this is alkaline water. So I'm just rinsing it off. I just rinse them and kind of rub it like this. The carrots seems to be good enough. It's good enough for me. Peel them if you want. Don't wash them if you don't want. I think Josh Axe is kind of big on not washing them. He made a book, Eat Dirt. I didn't read it, but I think that's kind of the concept. So anyway, whatever the Spirit leads you to do. I'm just showing you what I do. So I rinse these. And let's see if I can think of anything else. Do you have any questions?
No, so far.
No, so far. Okay. And then I'm just going to rinse that. And the apples, I just rinse off as well. But you can see on this side, the excess water that the water separates. This is acidic, this is alkaline. So this is soaking in acidic water, which is also cleansing. So I love the Kangen machine here. Tell you what, I'll put this plug in while I'm thinking about it. And if you drink some Kangen water, like I was telling Dominic, you can break out in hives, drink a big glass of Kangen water, wash them away. My son can eat something like a cookie or something and his behavior is terrible. He can drink a glass of Kangen water and he goes from terrible to awesome within like 2 or 3 minutes. People have seen, I've told people, they don't believe me, but I've had other neighbors come over and their jaws hit the floor with how powerful this water is. So I love it. I'm thankful for it, you know. But again, I've had a doctor, my doctor that I trust, he said, well, 1/3 of the people do good on Kangen water, and 1/3 are neutral, and 1/3 don't do. So I don't, you know, all I know has been awesome for us. So I can only speak for what, you know, what's worked for us. So I just kind of rinse this off. Like I said, if the cucumbers, some cucumbers feel fine, and I don't feel a need to peel them, but these are just too waxy. So I am and I'm gonna want y'all to drink the juice when I'm done so y'all can taste it.
Sure.
I'm really glad y'all came when you did because my sister, I've gotten to where I've kind of perfected, I guess, the recipe. As far as taste goes, me and Scott have been working on it. I used to do celery, but first of all, Gerson is not big on celery because of the sodium, and I know celery juice is like all the rage, and so based on that, I was like, well, I know it's got to be decently good, and I don't think I have cancer, so I'll just do celery. But then Scott's like, what? I taste the celery. I hate celery. So I took it out and I thought, okay, well, fair enough, because that was the one thing I was on the fence about, of whether it should be a staple juicing item, was the celery. And so I was like, okay, I'll leave it out. So, and the juice tastes much better without it. And, go ahead.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Is there a way that if you didn't want to peel the cucumbers, could you use your vegetable wash and help get that waxy off the
I've tried.
peel?
I've tried so
Doesn't work very good?
Doesn't seem to work
Oh,
good,
okay.
which is why I just resort to peeling.
Sure.
So I just get everything ready. And so with the grapes, I just kind of sort of make them rub each other, you know? Like this is kind of a washing, for lack of better words, I don't know. So, and I get them off the stem. You've got to heal your gut first and then go after the parasites, because the herbs to kill them are too strong, your gut can't handle it. And so I just thought that was so cool because that really corresponded with what Scott said. But I've been so this ties into now where I've been doing this for 3 weeks, and I feel like just recently God kind of revealed to me, like, you can go after the parasites now. Like, your gut's healed enough. I've been 21 days of just liquid juicing, and he's like going after them. And I just started taking parasite killing herbs again, and immediately it is working. I will just say that much.
How do you know if you have parasites?
Most everybody does.
Oh.
Anybody, if you want to be sure, you can send a stool sample to a parasitologist, veterinarian in North Carolina. It's the cheapest I know. It's only like $35. We've done that before, but my guess is 95% of people have them, if not 100, honestly. Some type, whether it's worms or flukes or...
That's terrible to think about.
It really is, but the people that I know, like another guy I follow that I love, and he's very spirit-led, his name is Vaughn Lawrence. He owns a supplement store in Kansas City, Missouri, and it's called spiritofhealth.com, and I've been listening to his videos recently, and I just listened to his parasite video, and he says, you know, people have no idea the damage they cause. They literally eat your neurotransmitters, your dopamine, your serotonin. You know, you think anxiety, you think depression, like you think hives, rashes, think parasites. Like in our country, people just totally, like in third world countries, like it's just like a thing. You take a pill, you deworm, and that's normal. It's not normal here, but it ought to be, because we have them as bad as everybody else, as bad as the third world countries do. You know, I know I have them because I've seen them, and I saw them yesterday, today. So when they come out, when you kill them, so when they come out, they're dead. So like, I don't want them there, you know. So most people don't realize they've got them and they're causing you trouble. They just think, oh, I need to take an antidepressant, or oh, I have hives, I need to take Benadryl. It's like. You know, you can treat the symptoms if you want, like it's your prerogative to do what you want. But like, I want to go after the root issue.
Yeah.
I want to get rid of them. You know, I don't want to just, as Joyce Meyer said this morning, like, you're trying to get to the ocean, you live in Oklahoma and you're trying to get to the ocean because that's where you want to live, but you're willing to stop in Alabama and live on a river instead of just making it to the ocean. Like, I want to get there. You know, this has been a long journey for me. I started like 13 years ago when I was infertile, and I was sick. I got sick a lot, and I had hurt all over, and then I had neighbor friends who, we were in the military, so it was on Air Force Base in Oklahoma, and she brought me a book called The Great Physician's Prescription for Health and Wellness. So God's Prescription, and it was by Jordan Rubin, and I read that book, and I mean, that is when the Holy Spirit convicted me. It was so foreign to how I normally ate, and I was a sugar addict if you have ever seen one, and it was killing me, and I just got convicted, and the Holy Spirit used that book to just be like, dude, you're eating terrible, you're killing yourself, and then he just like lit a passion in me, and I started making changes right away in my diet, and I got, I started taking some supplements he recommended, and I got rid of my diet root beers and my Hot Pockets and my Weight Watchers fudge bars and my, all this just crap processed man-made food. I got rid of it, and I'm telling you, I had tried to get pregnant for over 2 years, unsuccessful, and after that, I got pregnant within 8 weeks. I was pregnant, and I think my body was still so toxic because. So I lost that first baby at 10 weeks, but then I got pregnant the month after that, like 2 pregnancies back to back. After, doing Clomid and fertility, and it's crazy. And all you do is like start eating God's way, and bam, your body starts working like it's supposed to. And I got pregnant with Jackson and had a healthy pregnancy, and now he's 12 years old, and one of the greatest gifts God's ever given me. But to me, it's crazy how I had to obey. Like, we partner with God. I have to, I gotta do, he's gonna be like, look, I'll show you the way, but you've gotta go to the grocery store, buy the food, and put it in your mouth. You've gotta quit going to the pizza store. You've gotta put the root, he's not gonna do it all for us, but he has been so good to me to be like, the way, just like how this juice fast feast came about. He's like, I'm gonna open the door for you, and I'm gonna grace you with it, but you're gonna have to walk this out. You're going to have to be in the kitchen and do the work, and you know what I mean? So it's been a beautiful journey with God for me, and I've really felt like God put on my heart years ago, you eat like I tell you to eat, or you're going to die an early death. You're just not going to make it, and I desperately want to raise my children. If he wants to take me after they're raised, so be it, but just like at least let me get them raised, you know what I mean? And I just juiced this something like this. I don't put it through there. Don't ever juice a citrus outside. It will ruin your juice as far as taste goes. If you want oil, you know what I mean? But, oh my gosh, like always just, don't juice the rind. I've done that, and Scott's like, what did you do?
It's bitter. Huh?
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. So, anyway, so I'll just go ahead and juice this. Now, it's going to get kind of loud.
Okay.
This next part, and I guess I probably won't do much, I don't know if I'm going to do much talking during this part. So, anyway, here's the Norwalk. It's very heavy. Oh, it's very heavy. But, now let me get my bowl. That's in here. Now, here's the Norwalks. They have these cloths, and so you have to keep them in the freezer so they don't like grow bacteria or whatever. So I de-thaw these. I put them out maybe an hour ago. When I start the whole process, I just get them out of the freezer, because isn't that funny? This is a very unique way to juice. It's very, most people don't do this level of juicing as far as the Norwalk juicer. This is very unique. The Green Star is very popular. Like, as far as like the juicing gurus, most of them, unless you're in a cancer clinic or like you've got cancer, most people don't have a Norwalk. But a lot of people promote the Green Star. I've never used the Green Star, but that is like what I would consider top of the line. The next below this would be a Green Star. Okay. And that's just going on what the professionals have told, like the people that this is their life's work, and they're the biggest promoters and stuff. So first what we do is we grind it all, okay? Here we go. Where are my cucumbers? Oh, they're right over there. They're blended in with the green carrots. Okay, so because you don't want this to like splurt out, you have to put it in there and then kind of cover it. Otherwise, it'll spray. Okay. Don't look too close at these cabinets, because I try to clean them, but because that just messed up on me. So it might happen. So just, you can't push it all the way down. Push it kind of part way down. Oh, see? And if that happens, then you got to stick it down in there and just kind of, okay. Woo! There we go. Okay, so I do the cucumbers first. I like doing all the liquidy stuff first, because I like to blend it. It kind of seems to blend better. Okay? Okay, the apples, they're not as dangerous. So I just do this. And then I'll throw in the ginger and turmeric kind of intermittently. So here's a piece of ginger, apple. Sometimes you can fit 2 down here. Okay. There we go. And I'll put some more ginger. Okay, and I'm gonna put turmeric. Wait. I'll go ahead and empty out my bowl. Okay, so normally I use this one because it's me and Scott, but to be honest with you, I don't need one that big. This time, you want to blend all your produce together so that it's equally, like you're not getting like one juice with just like mainly ginger and carrot or something like that. So I don't need this big one, but normally I fill it up to here of produce, but this time, now you gotta watch it when you pull this bowl from underneath. Kind of put it like that. And I'm gonna put a little bit of lemon juice in here, just to, make sure it mixes uniform throughout all the produce. And then you just kind of mix this up a little bit, and then pour it in here. Okay. And then I like to kind of stir it around. Again, we're just trying to make it super uniform. So this is just kind of the method I have chosen. And then go back to juicing. So then I'm going to do the grapes. I'll do the grapes next because they're very liquid.
Yeah.
Okay? And these are the worst to spray.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do these a little different. This is how I've learned to do them to where they won't spray me. I turn it off, fill the pipe or tube with the grapes. You don't want to put stems in there. And then turn it on. Push it all the way down. Then fill it again. See? So, here we go.
I smell those cucumbers. That smells real good.
Oh,
I can smell it from the
good.
pot over here.
You're such a good listener, Linda. Yeah, it's but I gave my sister some. I think she wants to juice. She's got 4 kids, so she's got her hands full. And it's a bit of a commitment, but my gosh, it's been a beautiful journey. And John Rose, I love what he says about it. He says, if you do it, you're in for a treat. You're in for a treat. That's his tagline. And I'm like, he's so right. You're in for a treat. Like I've been trying for years to get the weight off. It's going to come off. You can't juice for 60 days.
Yeah.
And not, anyway. But that's just one of many things. Okay. And so anyway, so I gave her a juice last night. We were at church at that worship thing, and she's like, that was so good. So I hope y'all like it too. Grapes are hard to find organic, so the only place I'm able to find them organic is Sprouts right now, and so I prefer red grapes because the resveratrol I think is higher in it. But I can't find organic red, so that's why I have gone with green, because it's the only organic I can find, literally, between all the stores. Like, who knew it'd be so hard to find organic grapes? But apparently, well, I know what season grapes are. I mean, they're in the fall. So, normally you can find a lot more, the produce you want at the time it's harvesting. So, I don't know how much longer I'm going to have my vineyard though, because my dad may sell it. Kind of sad, but that's okay. I had to kind of give it up because it's just too time consuming. I got enough going on here, then I have to drive down there and then like,
Where is down there?
Columbia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's got like 77 acres down there, but 1 acre of it is just strictly vineyard, and it's so beautiful. So I do have a love for grapes, but they're like Dr. Morse. He's very popular too in the natural health food world. He is a huge promoter of grapes. He's like, the sicker you are, the more grapes you need. So I knew I had to include grapes in my standard juice because they are one of the most cleansing, the most powerful cleansing, healing foods on the planet. That's why when God gave me that vineyard, I knew he's like, he's for me, you know, like that song, like he's for us. Like he just gives me so much, like just all the tools I need. You know, be it a Norwalk juicer or a vineyard or the grace or, you know, whatever. Like he wants to see us well. And, you know, a lot of times he doesn't give us miracles. He gives us the tools we need to partner with him, you know? I mean, he's a God of miracles. I'm not denying that one bit. But sometimes I think he wants you to partner in the process, and sometimes he just heals you on the spot. Okay, I'm going to do... yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do the parsley. This is the most irritating to do, to be honest with you. But I do it just because, you know, the health benefits. It's an herb, and I'm just trying to get some of this in, you know. It doesn't, these leafy greens don't yield much, but I'm still putting them in there because they're, you know, healthy. And a lot of people break up their juices, like they just do, like maybe just watermelon or just cucumber. But it's like, I mix mine because I do not want to taste just parsley juice or just cucumber juice or whatever. Like I want the flavors mixed. I need the apples to help me get down the cucumber. And I don't want just carrot juice either. Like, I like the combination of the flavors. But I've heard this said, and I think it was pretty good advice. It's like, look, you know, the best juicer for you, it's like, you know, is the one you'll use. That's the best juicer. It's the one you'll actually use. And the other thing, kind of along those same lines, it's like, what produce? The produce you'll juice. Whatever makes you happy, what keeps you going, you know? It's like you can't pick a wrong produce. You know, if you just want to live off celery juice or watermelon or whatever, you know, or a combination, it's like, my goodness, it's got to be better than what you were doing, you know?
Yeah.
So, it's a little tougher for the Norwalk on these, like, the vegetables that have, I would say, fibery, like the celery thing, like it wouldn't even do wheatgrass because of the fiber content. I don't think it's fiber. That's not the word I'm looking for. It's like, it's the strings inside of it. Anyway, it does this okay, but it struggles with this the most, the parsley. See, it struggled with that. And that's why after something like this, I take this out and just kind of get, these are the holes it gets pushed through. And I just kind of clean this grate off so that it can handle these carrots and spinach easier. So it's just kind of a trick I learned. And like I said, this is the kind of the techie stuff of the Norwalk. But you'll see when you taste this juice, like there's not a finer juice. And I'm a, like kind of a, I don't know if you know the Enneagrams, but I'm a 1. So I like, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to make a juice. I'm going to do this juice. Like, I'm going to have the best juice. You know? Like, if I'm going to get healed, I want a complete healing. Stuff like that. I don't know. I like it about me, but I don't know if some people maybe find it annoying. Who knows? My husband seems to tolerate it pretty good. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is mix this into here, just because I'm just really want all the ingredients, because some of the stuff is really small, like the ginger, I got stuff in my hair, the ginger and the turmeric is kind of small, so you want to like,
It smells good. It smells so green.
Does that not say life? Does that not just say like, it's exciting food?
Anything green is good.
Yeah, green is good, but I don't know, like I really get jazzed up on the I don't know, like the beauty and the excitement and the life-giving force of this food. You know, food it has a force, and there's actually like a picture, like I don't know if y'all are familiar with the photography that you can take that actually captures the energy coming off of food. I think, is it called Kirlian photography? I think that's what it's called. And there are pictures of like a picture of organic apple versus non-organic apple, or just like the life energy coming off of food. And it's like so cool because it's a real thing. Like, you know, everybody has anything that's alive gives off energy and stuff, and they able to capture that on camera. Okay, so I'm gonna do the carrots now, and. They get rid of varicose veins. I've got spider veins, so I'm hoping to get rid of those. So that's a cosmetic thing, you know. So some of the stuff I'm going for is, you know, just health. Others is cosmetic, you know. But I'm about to be. I turned 40 this year, so I'm like, oh. Yeah, you can start like feeling. You really have to start fighting for your health and like. I guess looks more so than when you're 20. You know, it's just kind of there.
Well, you look very young.
Oh, thank you. I don't know. Scott really, he's kind of funny. He's made it kind of clear in a very nice way that he does not want me to. He wants me to dress youthful and kind of athletic. So this is honestly not what I would normally wear. It's just a couple years ago, he finally kind of came out with it. He was just like, actually, I want you to wear these types of clothes. And I was like, really? Okay. Because I'm just a little bit more conservative in my dress. Typically, that's me. Like, I just wear long dresses. I think they're beautiful and flowy. And I would probably wear dresses most of the time, but honestly, it's super convenient because now I'm always ready to exercise.
Sure.
In the clothes that he likes to put me in, and you know, they're highly functional, and thank goodness they're in fashion because, you know, that's what he likes me in. So I'm like, okay, it works. So kind of have to change for your spouse, and you know, adapt and grow and lean forward, as I like to say, right? So, yeah, he's.
I think it's called Compromise.
Compromise, yeah. There's like a song
Yeah.
by Rio, Diamond Rio, like, I start walking your way, you start walking mine. Meet in the middle, right? With that old Georgia pine. Anyway, I digress. But maybe it was a pine tree in the middle of a luscious muscadine orchard. Oh my gosh. It's a little piece of paradise. Okay. Any questions, Linda? Okay, I got an answer.
That's real pulpy, so that's where the straining cloth comes through.
Yes, yes, and this is the bulkiest of the vegetables, and you can see how it gives it a thickness. So that's why I want to mix all the really liquidy ones first. I might should have done the spinach before I just did the carrots, but anyway. Another thing is, John Rose said, most people fail on juice feast and fast because they don't drink enough juice. You must drink at least the minimum. This is for a woman. It's a gallon a day. Okay, a gallon is
Plus that much water too.
No,
No?
you don't need, you
don't
might
need
not
to
even
drink
need
water?
water. Only,
Oh, really?
I would only drink water if I happen to be thirsty.
Oh.
But he's saying you should be good, like a 1 to 2 gallons a day.
Okay.
8 of these is a gallon.
Oh,
8 of
okay.
these. I drink 9 a day. My husband, who's over 250, drinks 12 a day. So depending on your size and weight, but he's like, don't get hungry. You're not supposed to get hungry. You're not drinking enough juice if you're hungry. Drink more juice. And so I kind of stick with 9 just because I feel like that's what the Spirit put on my heart. But like, you know, I think yesterday I did 10 or 11 because I stayed up so late talking to my mom and I was so hungry. And I'm like, you know, I'm just going to drink more juice. So
what would happen if you stopped the juicing process right here and ate all the bulk? You'd just get too full?
this is, just like eat this.
Yeah.
Okay, contains all the fiber.
Uh-huh.
And the fiber has got a lot of health benefits. Nobody's denying that. But we're not going for what the fiber is doing this
Right,
time. Like,
right.
we're taking all this out so that we're like lightening the digestive load.
Ah, I see.
This makes it
I see.
super easy on the digestion. I was pretty much doing this with smoothies before I got it into
Yeah.
juicing.
Yeah.
And I was telling you about the smoothies, right?
Mhm.
But the problem was they were breaking me out in hives. Like, it wasn't working for my hives.
Okay.
So I
It's too
had,
heavy?
it was, I think it was just too much to process. It was
Uh-huh.
just, even though it was super healthy,
Yeah.
it wasn't light enough for my system. And so I had to go with something that was even easier, and this is it. This is why it works for like all these cancer patients and, you know, disease patients, because it's just light on your system and it gets absorbed. It doesn't really have to go through your
Right.
digestion. It just
Right.
gets soaked in.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why, you know, this would be the equivalent to a smoothie. Blend it all up.
Yeah.
Blend all the good stuff
Yeah.
in. And as soon as I'm done with my juice feast, you better believe, I'll be going back to a lot of smoothies. I love smoothies.
Sure.
Chocolate strawberry and
Sure.
I could go on and on about smoothies. But for me, I had to have the next level up.
Uh-huh.
I had to do, that just wasn't working. I had to do something different. So I was like, okay, God, I gotta have produce. How am I gonna get it? You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people, ideally, you could just go eat a watermelon, but that was breaking you out in hives. And then you're like, okay, well, I'll just blend the food. Well, no, hives. Then I went to juice, no hives. So I knew for me, okay, like my body's not angry, and so anyway, I'm going to, the last thing I'm going to juice, wait, where's my bowl, is the spinach. And this is a little bit of a booger, but Scott was the one, I was doing like dandelion greens are really good, cilantro, parsley, and I did throw in some parsley you saw.
Yes.
But spinach, Scott was the one that's like, do spinach, so.
Supposed to be so healthy. Yeah.
And it's the best flavor. Spinach is, that's why everybody's like, put spinach in your smoothie because you'll never taste it. So if you're just trying to go for like a really good flavor, and still get your greens in, spinach is the way to go. So. That's it. And you just stuff it down. So a gallon is a lot, but you know, when I did our juice festival before, I think I was just trying to do too little juices, and it was miserable. But this, when you're drinking enough juice, totally doable. Me and Scott feel fine. You know, one of the hardest things I think to get over is your cravings. You know, like you're addicted to sugar. You just, you know, and it took me a year to separate myself from sugar.
Doesn't it make you, aren't you hungry? Isn't that something at first that you're hungry with this? No?
Not really. If you're hungry, drink another juice.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's loaded with nutrition and calories and vitamins and minerals and and I try to space it out like 1 pint every hour and a half. But sometimes I'll drink a juice and then I'm still hungry.
Okay.
So I'll just drink another one. I did that today. I drank one just 45 minutes apart instead of an hour and a half. I was just still hungry, you know, and I thought,
Yeah.
you know, but usually 9 a day is just about the right amount for me. Unless it's just an unusually long or a hard day, or maybe I haven't done this yet, but if I exercise it, you know, a lot more than normal. But my exercise, I normally just do it. Oh, that's another thing about juicing is you do want to keep up doing muscle building, for lack of better words, exercises. Like, you don't want to, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. So keep using your muscles. I do 30 push-ups a day, 30 squats a day, 30 dips a day, and 30 lunges a day. And then if the weather's pretty, I'll walk the neighborhood. So it's something, I don't like the gym, so this is something I can do at home, not leave the kids, not pay a gym membership, and there's no excuse. What day am I not somewhere? There's few days, so I try to do that 6 days a week, and I give myself 1 day off, and then, this life happens. There just might be a day I just can't get it in for some reason. So, usually I take Sundays off because I go to church and just, a day of rest, maybe. But anyway, so I encourage you to keep using your muscles, and the people that I've, I guess, studied under about juice feasting and fasting said the same thing. They're big exercise people, most of these people are super active. And with juice fasting, that's the beautiful thing about doing juice. You can still exercise, you can still work, you can still go to your job versus a water fast. I mean, I can hardly make it through a day without crashing, and like at 3 o'clock, I'm just like, I just want to go to bed and, be done with the day. That's why juicing is just so much better. And John Rose, I think, has coached enough people. I mean, he's coached thousands of people. What he was saying is, a juice fast is doable for most people because of the energy, and also because it's very clear what the boundaries are. It's a solid food vacation. That's what he calls it. So if you're just saying, well, I'm going to do a Daniel's fast, and I'm just going to eat raw fruits and vegetables. Well, that's a beautiful thing. But it's really tricky to just say no to that one bite of chocolate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're eating. But when you're just drinking, the lines are very distinct.
Right.
If I'm eating anything salt, I have crossed the line. I have screwed up. And to me, really sharp boundaries seem to be very helpful. So use a normal walk. But I know there's some people out there that are willing to do the time it takes. Right. Before I went on a juice feast, I was just using this every 2 to 3 days and like doing half juice, half something else. I mean, the truth is, even if you decide not to go exclusive juice, you won't get the benefits if you mixing juice with other stuff that you would if it was just exclusive juice. However, you'll still get a lot of benefits doing juice. Do you know what I mean? Like, some juice is better than no juice, right?
Yes.
So, just like some exercise is better than no exercise. So I just kind of scrape out what's left in that tube. But that's why I don't juice ginger last, because you can imagine if you had even a little bit of the ginger get stuck in the tube, then you wasted a lot of the ginger. So I juice something that's got, a lot of whatever it is. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay. So, and then I mix, I'll move this over here again. And then I mix all the greens in here, and you can see just a pound of greens. Normally I mix a whole pound with 2 batches. So this is going to be extra greeny. I just didn't divide it up exactly how I do. So it's, it's up to you. Like I said, choose the greens you love. If you like celery, do celery. But it was interesting, Scott, I had done more celery than normal one time, and he actually gained weight that day that he had so much celery.
Really?
And he was really discouraged because he had been steady dropping, and then had a juice that was kind of loaded with celery, but it's the sodium content is so high, which is why Gerson is anti-celery juice. So I thought, well, heck, we're both trying to lose weight as fast as we can, so let's just cut the celery juice. We have enough other great stuff in here.
Sure.
So that's why he's like, just do spinach. I used to be kind of a little too focused on that, like, I better get, just for example, maybe I should get a certain type of blush or whatever. And sure, there's value in having a clean foundation or something, but it's like, no, the real problem is all the crazy going on in here. Get a clean foundation or makeup, great, that's wonderful, but really, go after the parasite. Go after what's really tearing you up, and I really think that it's the parasites, whatever form they are, created a lot of my leaky gut, which creates allergies and hives, and that's why I've been going after the gut issues, and just because, yeah, I just think it's torn my gut up. And my son's got gut issues too, and so he does some juice, but thankfully he's gotten a lot better than he used to be. And you've got a bad gut, it affects your brain. So you've got inflammation here, you've got inflammation here, and a lot of kids, it looks like their behavior's bad, but it's not that they have a bad heart, it's just that they are reacting to a very toxic body. And I've seen it with my kids. The cleaner you get your body, the cleaner you get your mind, and your kids can just all of a sudden, they act good, they think good, they're happy. You put him on a bad diet and all of a sudden I've got behavior problems. She's got anxiety, she's got night terrors, they're fighting all the time, they're driving me crazy, he's saying disrespectful things. All of a sudden you put him on good water and good food and all that disappears. He's very connected, and parents just don't take the time to think, it's not as a bad kid. I mean, Jackson was so bad at one time, I would thought all I can do is put him in a padded room, close the door, and pray for the best. I'm serious. He would just lose his mind so violently. And I thought, this is not fun at 5, but it's really not going to be fun at 15. God help me figure this thing out. And he's just, through the years, just giving me more and more tools to help him. And I'm super thankful. I don't know what else to say, except God has spared me over and over and over, many ways, many levels. Okay.
So does a normal juicer do both of these parts together at the same time?
Yeah, normal juicer, you just put it in, and it just puts out the juice.
And it separates the juice from the
it does all this for you.
What?
So you just put about a cup's worth here, and then you do this. You fold it over, and then you lay it on the tray. See, it's so like you're folding laundry just perfectly. Laundry and stuff like that, I kind of, I don't know if I like folding, but I certainly don't mind it.
This is like making a wrap.
Yeah. So you just do this, and these are special cloths that come with the juicer, but you can buy more, because if you press it too firmly or something, you can bust these bags. And so, and I guess maybe after a lot of use, you'd want to rebuy, buy new ones, but I haven't bought any new ones yet. So I just put it here, and then, so you don't want to do too much, because first of all, it wouldn't fit between here.
Right.
If you do, and you don't want it to spray too bad, okay? So I normally, you see how this flips up? I normally flip that last one over.
Oh, you're going to do them all at once?
Yep.
Oh, I thought they had been done one. Okay.
So then you put them in here like this.
All right.
You put this here, you turn it on, and there's the lever. And then you just have to make sure it doesn't go too fast, because it'll start spraying. Oh, look how green that juice
Very
is.
nice, yeah.
That's the most green juice I've put out. Maybe it was all the spinach. I don't know. But I like to drink the first one. We'll have to try the first one. The first press, right? So let me get some cups now.
Yeah, this is the first one.
And so this is cold. This is what they call cold press.
Cold press, okay.
And it doesn't separate. And I'm telling you, I feel spoiled, because I'm getting and it says here, do not leave the hydraulic press at full pressure longer than necessary to extract the juice, usually not more than 10 seconds. So you don't want to leave it here too long, just long enough to get it out, release it. And then, bam. And then I go here and you just shake it. Now this is cool. You just shake this stuff out. Feel that.
Oh my gosh. It's like memory foam almost.
Yeah, it's crazy. And they said, I haven't tried this, but they say animals that normally would eat this type of produce won't touch that stuff.
Really?
Because you've gotten all the good stuff out.
Yeah.
They're like, eh.
Wow. That's interesting. Yeah.
So I just shake it out in the
sink. It's
sink.
almost like rubber.
Yeah, you shake it out in the sink, and then eventually I just throw it in the trash. But it's just easier to shake it out in the sink than the trash can. And then you just do this with the whole bucket. Now, if you got a big bucket like that, it can take an hour and a half. But anyway, I'd like to take this moment to try the juice. Hope it's good. It can't be that bad with all the good stuff we just put in it, right? Okay. This usually, one press usually makes about 16 ounces.
Oh.
So,
Oh.
I'll be glad to give y'all more if you want more.
All right, let's try and see what we got. Smells really good.
It's good. It's
Oh,
good.
yeah.
You know, pineapple's a good thing to add too, and I was doing that for a while, but one day I overdosed on the pineapple, and Scott's like, oh my gosh, Rachel, it's eating up my mouth. Oh my gosh, here's another thing I've got to tell you. I'm so glad you're just taping. I can think of all these things, because the beets are a natural laxative, and I don't have a problem with them.
Oh.
And beets are a wonderful cleaning root. And I was putting them in all my juices until Scott joined me on day 10, and I was just drinking all my juices that had beets in there, and he had diarrhea for the first 3 days. And he was like, man, I mean, I'm trying, but it's messing up my stomach, and I'm just dying. It was just constant diarrhea. He said he was afraid to even pass gas, for he didn't know if that was just gonna be gas or what, you know?
Miller, yeah.
And so so I said, well, babe, I'm gonna just leave out the beet and see,
Yeah.
see if that helps. There's only like one beet. I mean, it's big,
Yeah.
but still, it's like such a small portion in compared. But I was, I'm just gonna leave the beet out and see if that helps you. Sure enough, I left the beet out, and the diarrhea just stopped immediately. Gone. So if you have a diarrhea problem, don't use beet. But if you have a constipation problem, use beet. In fact, if you just, it's a good tip. Fully Raw Christina did a video just on, cure constipation with beet juice, and I'm gonna tell you, it's a great natural laxative if you don't want to just pop pills.
Okay.
So I know
Very interesting.
I like beets, but they're not in here, and they're sweet too.
Right.
They're kind of
Right.
a little bit like how carrots are sweet.
Right. Have you heard of that Super Beets powder they sell? And have you ever had that?
I haven't had it, but I'm familiar with their beet powders and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And sometimes it's spray, so I would be careful about wearing something that's very, because this stuff can stain pretty bad, especially for juicing beets. That's hard stuff to get out. So
Grapes. The green, red grapes.
oh, that's another thing, and it's normally I think that's too why it tastes not as sweet as normal. Is because I normally use red grapes, and I think they're a little sweeter.
They are.
So I think that's what turned out as green as it did. And every juice is gonna taste a little different. No one juice is gonna be the same, because there's no one fruit is exactly the same. And although I use the same basic ingredients, it's gonna vary.
Yeah.
As far as the amount and And sometimes you try to get something from the store, and the store just doesn't have it.
Right.
So anyway, then I just dump all this out, and normally I do it over there just because it's closer, but it's not a big deal. There.
So this is instead of cooking, except you still need to fix food for the kids.
Exactly. And that's the thing. People will spend hours in the kitchen
Sure.
making various other things. I'm just making juice.
Yeah.
And thankfully Scott's doing it with me, so even though it adds 2 more hours in the kitchen to juice for him, I don't have to worry about what does he want to eat.
It's 2 more hours mainly because of this part.
Right.
Because the other part wouldn't take, it would take a little time.
It's this part that really tacks on the time. But I'm so happy for the results he's getting. I mean, he really needs to lose the weight and get his Achilles. He had surgery for his Achilles, and even though the doctor said it was healed, it didn't feel healed to him. He still had an inflammation. He still couldn't work all day. It was still painful. It was still irritated. And I was like, you eat inflammatory foods, you're going to have inflammation. And inflammation causes pain. So it's like, I never saw that as clearly as I did is when Jackson had poison ivy, and he has raw open flesh, and he had a piece of steak, and I literally could see his leg flesh go from calm and fine to red and itchy and inflamed within 20 minutes. And he was begging me for his Epsom salt bath just to calm down the inflammation. He says Epsom salt baths help actually now we do magnesium baths, magnesium salt. Anyway, he says they help everything from A to Z. It's like his happy place. He gets to go. It's the only time he gets to play video games. He gets to go in there and just relax, and it takes away his cramps, itching, anything. So he loves them. But anyway, back to the meat is inflammatory. I'm not an anti-meat necessarily. I'm just a really, really pro-vegetable and fruit. Much more. Actually, I'm more pro-fruit than I am vegetable. But they're both great. I mean, if God made it, it's good, right?
Yeah.
That's mine. So then I flip over the top one so that you don't have a flat flipping up. You know what I mean? Sometimes it'll get stuck.
I've never, you always hear cold press, but I've never seen it done, so this is quite interesting.
Yeah, it's really neat. It took a little bit to learn the system because all the juicers I've ever had.
It's a one step.
Yes. But I'll tell you this, I had my friend come over and take that Rebel a couple weeks ago. She is the children's director at Hope Church.
Okay.
And she came and took the Rebel, and so I juiced my stuff that day, that Sunday, to show her how to use a Rebel. And I had never done this before, but the Rebel has all the pulp left over.
Yes.
So I've always hated throwing it away because I felt like there was more juice in there, but I had no way of really getting it out. So I thought, I'm gonna press it and see how much juice I could actually get off the leftover pulp. I got about this much juice
Wow.
out of the leftover throwaway pulp.
Yeah.
So another thing I love about the Norwalk is this actually, you get the most bang for your produce buck. You get the most juice you can possibly get
Yeah.
out of the produce you buy.
That's an easier way to clean up the pulp too, in those flattened things like that, instead of having a bunch of mush to
And the mush
dispose of.
you would just dump in the trash can.
Yeah.
You just dump it. So anyway, I feel good about it because I hate waste, especially like produce waste. This organic produce is expensive, and
Yeah.
I just.
Yeah.
Anyway, my friend who's doing it with me, she says she's lost over 15 pounds.
Oh
at
my
least.
gosh. Does she have a lot to lose?
Mhm. That's what she
That's
said.
great though.
What?
That's great.
I know. And another thing too is like the pain. You're eating such an anti-inflammatory diet with these juices or so it's like you got a bunch of pain. And people say if you go the distance, like all the people that have done this longer, that like I follow, the arthritis. When you get all your colon cleaned out and you got like the first wave and then the second one, and then it starts pulling toxins, that's when you start losing the rheumatoid arthritis and stuff like that, because that's all the intercellular toxins that you're getting out. So, that is, these are the jars I use, but I'm just thinking because normally I set these things out, but most of the clean ones are in there. That's what I was thinking, Linda. I think they're about done though, it's just dry. So I'm just gonna go ahead and set these out. Because I started. And then I just take them like this and fill it up. Now you can also add other things to it if you want. You can add, the main thing I've been adding to it, and I'll probably just do it later, is distilled aloe. Just good on your gut. But you don't have to. I'm just doing it for funsies, but this is it. If you help yourself down if you want that, obviously don't feel like you have to, but you're welcome to it. You can. A lot of the ones I make are orange, so this is much greener than normal. But everybody says green juice. Well, now we're
It
doing
is really good.
I'm
It's
glad
got a good taste.
I'm glad you like it. See, that's the thing. If you're only doing this all day, you at least want it to taste good.
Yeah.
And that's what we.
Yeah, you don't want to. That's
Scott
something you can't stand, right?
Scott did a 7-day juice fast years ago, and he did lose weight, but he was miserable because he wasn't. Here are the problems. The two big problems. He didn't drink enough. I think he was only drinking like 7 of these a day instead of 12. You know, that's a
So
big
he's
difference.
hungry.
So he was hungry and it was nasty. He actually did the recipe that Joe Cross promoted on his film, Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. And it might be very healthy, but it is nasty. So how long do you want to do it? It's got kale, I think, and celery, and Scott hates kale and celery. So I'm like, grapes. All this stuff is in here. It's so great. I mean, it's like we're not doing any disservice by leaving out the kale and celery.
Yeah.
So that's
Fat,
just
Sick, and
amazing.
Nearly Dead. I haven't got to see that one yet.
Oh, it's fast. It's fun. It's a fun film, and he like goes around, United States and interviewing people, and he gives his transformation and and helps another guy that's like morbidly obese lose tons of weight. And he does a 60-day. That's my dad. I'm just gonna say, can I call you Greg? He does a 60-day, and you can just see his body transform like crazy. And that's another exciting thing is you can do other things, but you don't get as quick results. I mean, I love fast results. I love 3 weeks. I'm 10 pounds down. I saw my parents. Last time I was home, 3 weeks ago, I was 10 pounds heavier.
Wow.
You know, that's quick. You know?
Yeah.
So, I love it.
Not sure you did that.
You look great, but I know how you feel. People say, oh, you don't need to lose weight. It's like, you know what, you can see me naked. And that's another story. And, you know, or in a bathing suit or whatever.
And
It's
you
like,
don't feel as good.
exactly. It's
You
like,
feel like out of control.
right.
Right, yeah.
But just to be able to like do this, and another thing I love about, you know what you're eating. You're not having, what should I have for breakfast? What should I have for lunch? You make it, and for 24 hours, you made your food, and you're done. You don't have to think about it. You can just think about other things. Think about, you know, I've got a ton of things I've got to manage with homeschooling kids and keeping a household and family and, you know, studying the Bible, my relationship with God, all that stuff. It's just, you know, it's nice and it's on the go food. You can just take it to work, take it.
It's not messy, it's already prepped.
Right, it's on the go, and you can do glass bottles or you can do plastic. Scott does not like glass, so I get the plastic bottles for him. So, and also here's another thing that's really cool is that I haven't had to do this yet, but if you just cannot get around to juicing, you can always buy juice from Whole Foods or from Clean Juice.
Okay.
It's more expensive. Like for a pint at Clean Juice, I think it's $9 or $10. Okay, which is almost triple what it cost me.
Yeah.
Okay, and Whole Foods is about double the price. So what it cost me, let's say about $3 for a pint for me.
Yeah.
You're going to pay about double that at Whole Foods and about triple that at Clean Juice.
Oh.
I think Clean Juice makes a better juice probably than Whole Foods because I think it might be slightly pasteurized. It didn't used to be, but I think it is now.
Doesn't it not last very long? I mean, how can you buy it ready-made, or is it fresh made?
It's fresh.
Daily there.
Yeah,
Okay.
at Clean Juice, and they geared it to help people do juice fast.
Okay.
And so they have systems. My sister just did that this past weekend. She did that
Okay.
on Friday because their church fast for the day,
Uh-huh.
and she was hearing all this, but she didn't have time to juice. So I'm just saying, if I kind of
Yeah.
get caught
Yeah.
without the time I need,
Mm-hmm.
I just go buy from there, just what I need until I can
You
continue
need
on.
to drink 4 of them a day. No?
I drink 9 of these.
9 of those a day.
9.
Right.
8 is a gallon, so you
Yeah.
at least want a gallon.
That would be kind of pricey if you had it
Exactly.
ready-made, right?
And so if you're paying, you know, 9 a day, $9, there's $81 a day. Well, for me, when I'm doing this, it's about $25 to $30 a day.
Uh-huh.
Well, you know, a lot of people spend that much on prep food, but I'm spending that much on food that's like life-giving, and it's not only like
Right.
sustaining me, but it's cleaning me at the same time. So it's like, it's a beautiful thing. So
Yes.
I love watching some of the, like hearing people online that have done gone the distance. That's my term. Go the distance. It's one thing to do 3 days or 7. It is a whole nother thing and a whole nother experience to go the distance and really go until your body is done cleaning. You know, that's a curious thing. How dirty am I? Is this going to take 30 days? Or is it going to take me 4 months to actually, maybe it's going to take you 6 months because you have done so much insult to your body and you are so full of crap. If you're that dirty, I'm sure you feel it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I know people that they probably would need to go 6 months. They are that filthy.
By next time you did it, they wouldn't probably have to, if they keep their eating up. So how often would you do this? Once a year?
You know what? John Rose does it once a year, and he says, I do it just to remind myself how fun it is and how amazing it is. Not that he needs it because his diet is so clean,
Yeah.
but that just reminded me what he said. I don't know, you know. I'm thinking, let's just say I go 90 days and like get totally clean. I'm thinking I'll like to do this every January because January is a sad, kind of depressing month just because I love the heat and the sun, and it's the least heat and the least sun, and Christmas is over. And so January starts with a J,
Yeah.
and so does juicing. So I'm thinking
Okay.
January is my juicing month.
Uh-huh.
So maybe every
Sure.
January,
Yeah.
I'll just juice for the month of January,
There you
and just that might be my new standard. Is January juice. But I'd like to think that I keep it so clean for the rest of the year. I'd like to think that I keep it so clean after this juice feast that, you know, it's not necessary that I juice after that. Like,
Or you do it a shorter time.
right.
So what happens to your juicer the rest of the year? You just make juice on and off.
I think probably what I'll do is after we're done, I don't know. I mean, I made juice to where we can have a couple pints a day, you know,
Yeah.
or frankly, I love my whole, like my watermelons, my cantaloupes, all this stuff and smoothies. So I may just
Yeah.
table the juicing for a while and just go to the smoothies and fruits and stuff like that, because I love it. I'm thinking after 90 days of juicing, I'll probably be ready for like something different. As much as I love it, I may be like, you know what? So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I gotta get there first. I'm like, don't worry too much about
Yeah.
what
Right.
the after. Just get
Right.
there. Just get there. You know. So I figured. And you know, the thing is, another cool thing about juicing is like it's transformative, not just to your body but to your mind. You can't transform your body without your mind and your spirit. So it's like, how will my thinking be different when I actually get there? You know, my thoughts today wouldn't be what they're going to be after my body's cleaner. You know, 30 days later. So who knows, I may have more brilliant thoughts and ideas at that point than I would have now, you know, all toxic laden and, you know, stuff like that, you know? So it is exciting to think about all the changes. And oh my gosh, this is another thing I haven't talked about. I can't believe I got so much to talk about. You'll have to listen. But how I like to say it like this. It is literally, I feel it has changed the trajectory of my whole life. Like, just like Dominic offering to come over and video, it's like that would have never happened. Y'all sitting here, my friend Tiffany from church, I'm building that friendship with her and helping her, and like God has, because I've chosen to partner with God and do this journey, He has brought new opportunities to my life. He's brought things that wouldn't have come otherwise.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like you literally are making a life trajectory choice, you know? And, you know, all our choices have consequences. So in a sense, you know, you're always kind of doing that, but this is a big choice. And I think it's brought a lot of good stuff in. And I just can't wait to see like what more is coming down the pipe, you know? You know, how my relationships are going to improve, what people are going to come in, what travel opportunities I might have, I don't know, like, you know, to think that you can just make a food choice and it change the trajectory in such a positive, impactful way. You know, it's like, it's exciting. I don't know, it's like a new adventure. I don't know, so that's another thought.
So does this separate after a certain amount of time? No?
No.
Really?
And I don't know of another juicer that does that. That will not
So
separate.
the other ones, it would separate after a while. Then
Oh, yeah.
You just shake it. But how long did you say it stays in the fridge for?
They say whoever they are, 2
Yeah.
or 3 days.
2, 3
But I put
days.
lemon juice in it, so I think honestly, I could see it keeping 3, 4, 5 days. It being cold pressed with lemon juice
Yeah.
and a fridge.
In the fridge.
But obviously, the quicker you drink it, the better it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, 'cause this is the most exciting out of all the, healing diets I've done, for lack of better words. This is my favorite because the results are the fastest, they're undeniable, and it's just, to me, it's just, there's really no drawbacks. It's just a bunch of positives. So the others kind of had drawbacks, you know, whatever they were. But, you know, everybody's got their own journey, so I'm not trying to say it's this way or the wrong way or anything
Sure.
like that. I'm just trying to say this is what's been wonderful for me. I try not to be too judgmental because I understand everybody's walk is different.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and God's got people on different journeys and stuff, but I love the one He's got me on. And then I like to put tops on them.
Yeah.
And I just bought these from Amazon because these are
Really?
the easiest clean.
Ah, that's interesting.
You just do this. I don't like those metal ones because they get rusty
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I just put these tops on there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's pretty cool.
oh, this is my juice. I'm gonna take a drink. That is good. Okay. Some people say this is extreme, and I say, yes, you're right. But, you know, I like, what is it saying? Desperate times call for desperate measures. I don't know if I'm desperate, but, you know, if you've got extreme issues or sicknesses, well then,
Right.
you know, and people do extreme things. Like with cancer, you don't think chemo's extreme?
Yeah.
You don't think open heart surgery is extreme? Like, hello, this is a gentle extreme in my
Right.
opinion.
Well, if people are happy where they're at, then they don't need to be interested.
Extreme efforts produce extreme results.
There, oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. So that's what I'm going for, extreme results. So, and I also want to be a good influence on the kids too. Although they don't love the juices, Jackson will drink it, and you know, it's good enough for me. And I do, you know, I want them to learn how to make good food choices and not wind up like I did. Oh my gosh. I was falling apart in my early 20s. Couldn't have a baby, sick all the time, hurt all over, aches and pains. It's like, really? I mean,
It's too young.
too young. I mean, I get that if you're 60 or 70 or 80,
Yeah.
but geez. And here's another thing. You know, I saw my grandparents die, and it's like everybody's gonna die.
Yeah.
And I'm actually looking forward to the day I die and go to heaven.
Yeah.
Great. But I'm not necessarily doing this to live a long time. I'm doing this so that the days I do have are quality. I want my quality days. You know, if I'm gonna live and be here, I want to just be productive, be my best, present my best, give my best, and if this is what it takes, this is what it takes. You know? So, and it's not a hard thing to do. It takes a little bit of learning, takes a little bit of time and discipline, but you know, if it works, it's worth it. So, I'm not taking many other supplements except the parasite killing stuff, and then the stuff to move my colon. And
No multivitamins or anything?
actually, I take that back. I'm taking a
Okay.
multi and I'm taking a vitamin D.
Okay.
Not that I necessarily need to, but just because I like to. Because this is so rich in vitamins and nutrients, I probably don't need a multi. But
How about calcium?
no, I'm not taking calcium. I've heard some kind of negative press on
Oh.
calcium.
Really?
Yeah, but I assure you there's a lot of calcium in this juice.
There's protein in there?
Yeah, there is protein. Yeah, there's a lot of protein in this green leafies. And so yeah. And there's actually, believe it or not, they say there's fat in here. But
Really?
the experts, and I'm just going to say I think John Rose is one of the most expert people on this. He says just to make sure you're getting enough fat, because that's the one thing you got to be careful about. He recommends like a tablespoon of flax oil for men and a tablespoon of hemp oil for women.
Hemp oil.
I do CBD at night because it just helps me relax and
Yeah.
sleep. And I mean, this juice can jazz you up. You know, not that you need that, Dominic, because I love that about Dominic. I love life and energy and full of life. Like
He's jazzed up.
I love it. You know what I mean? Some people need it, some people don't. But I love that. Like, but anyway, it can jazz you up. Anyway, you need to sleep well and rest well. And so with the coffee enemas every morning, and sometimes twice a day, depending, the CBD just helps me relax and unwind. So we're like big CBD advocates here. Jackson gets it every day, most 2 or 3 times a day. Carolina gets it every night. Help her sleep good, deep. And so that's what I'm saying is I take 3 capsules of CBD and don't do the tablespoon of hemp. Because it isn't hemp oil, the CBD is. So I'm getting it. So that's how I'm doing it. But I'm just saying, you know, you do need to watch to you need to make sure you're getting your omegas.
How do you know if you're if it's a good CBD oil, because doesn't some of them have the THC in it? If you don't get the right one?
Yeah, but honestly, that can be a good thing. THC is from God, you know what I mean? So I'm not,
for work it isn't.
that's true, that's
The
true.
drug test is not.
But I guess a little on the subject, because you have a lot of juices and you're cleaning house, and so that's why you need to. I mean, Vaughn from Spirit of Health, he's great. He says you need at least 1 or 2 bowel movements a day, at least. And if you're not getting that, take more supplements or do those colonics or enemas. You don't have to do coffee, you can do water. But if you do coffee, this is one of my favorite coffees to make. I'm going to show it to you. You have to have special coffee. You don't just get any coffee.
Oh, okay.
But you can get the bucket
okay.
and the coffee on Amazon. I'm about to.
Higher caffeine, okay.
And you can, what does it say on there? Can you read the label? Because that will kind of explain a little bit more what I was trying to say.
Pure Life Enema Coffee, light air roast coffee ground for a superior liver detox. Air roasted for purity, higher caffeine and
Palmitic.
acid.
That's it, palmitic acid. That's what I was looking for.
100% organic special grade coffee, all free, Jerson accepted.
Gerson. That's
Okay.
Max Gerson. That was the
Oh.
doctor I was referencing.
Oh, okay.
Um,
USDA organic and OTCO.
It's the palmitic acid that helps the liver produce the glutathione that really goes through and cleans house. And so the weird thing is and Scott, when he was having all these terrible asthma attacks and stuff, the coffee enemas helped open his lungs and he could breathe better than he could. I mean, so before he got the inhaler, that was the single best thing that he would help him breathe. Yeah, because it opens and dilates the lungs just like it does the liver. And you'll dump a lot of not every time, but especially when you first do them, you'll dump bile. See, it dilates the gallbladder and liver, and you'll have all these yellow flakes in the toilet. Things come out in your toilet that never had come out before. That's the crazy thing with doing these types of cleanses. It's like, what is that? That's not poop. I've seen all kind of stuff come out that is not poop.
Yeah.
It's, bile or parasites or mucoid plaque, and you can tell the difference. It's not, and this stuff is not really good in me. You're glad, you just instinctively know, this should come out. This should not stay in. This is a good thing that this is out.
Yeah.
I'm here at the tail end right here. I think this is going to be the last one. So, but you do a coffee enema the right way. You lay on your right side for 15 minutes. Not only does it help clean out your colon, but like I said, it cleans the liver, and all these yellow flakes will be at the top of your toilet bowl. So it can, not all the time. But that's the bile from your gallbladder and liver. So, anyway, there's a lot of people with gallbladder issues in our country. I think that's the #1 surgery, but it's hey, try coffee enema.
Yeah.
But these Gerson, the people in the Gerson therapy, they're doing 13 8-ounce juices a day, and they have some other food they eat too, but they do 4 to 5 coffee enemas a day. I mean, they are doing juice and coffee enemas around the clock. But, for some of them, it's that or die. So, this is the last one.
Yeah.
So how many have we made? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. About 8 or 9. This makes that recipe made about 8 or 9. So about, like I said, for one person for a day.
Yeah.
And you just do what you love. You want to enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
You don't want to be miserable. That's why you drink enough and you juice what tastes good.
Yeah.
It might not look like it tastes good, but this one I think tastes good.
Right.
You got to keep pursuing, help for your kids or yourself until you get it. And if you haven't got it, God's not done. What is this? If it ain't good, God ain't done. There's so much stuff out there. If what you're doing is not working, do something else.
Yeah.
Try coffee enemas. Try Kangen water. Try juicing. Try single sugar foods. Try, I don't know, just don't give up on yourself or your children.
Right.
Happy healthy juicing. God bless.